Introducing Mr. Joseph Latin. He owned a pest control business and an assisted living facility. He has been in this business for 7 years and he is a six-figure earner. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Joseph Latin.
Awesome. Good folks, it's so much fun to work with, and she's a great part of our team. Thank you for helping us out here with all you do. And I'm going to turn the time over now to my brother Chris, okay? Chris has been with 7K Metals just a little bit longer than I have. He joined a month after the company opened, and I joined a month after that. He is a silver associate here with 7K Metals, and like I said, it's been really fun working with my brother all these years. He has a military background. He spent 40 years in our military. He was, most of that time as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot and instructor pilot. He's got a great job he's got a cool job as far as he's a helicopter pilot still. And so I'm going to turn the time over now to my brother, and he's going to share with you now how to earn income here with 7K. Chris, let you take it away.
All right, Joe. Thanks, man. I appreciate the intro, and thanks for sharing. It is an absolute pleasure to be able to work with you. I'm glad that we're business partners. And man, we've just had so much fun on vacations together, and that's all because of 7K. We've really done a lot of things because of 7K. So again, thanks. We appreciate you and all that you do for 7K, and also Legacy Builders, the group of us within 7K that help others to be able to create that wealth, preserve their wealth. And so, folks, I'm going to share my screen for $20. It is not possible. And that's because our fiat currency over the last 120 years or so has gone down in purchasing value, gone down in purchasing ability. But this 1 ounce gold coin is now worth close to $5,000. So what could you purchase for $5,000? You could purchase a custom-made suit, a tailor-made dress. And so think about that. If this is what keeps going down in value, why are we saving it? Okay? We should be using this to protect our money, to grow our wealth. So hopefully I've captured your attention, why it's important to own precious metals and really to protect yourself and back up everything that you have with precious metals. And we're going to show you how easy it is to do. I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. So how to build wealth strategy, our product disclaimer, and it involves risk. Anything involves risk when you purchase things. We also encourage you to get your tax professional or advisor. Now, most of us don't have a tax professional or advisor, but I've talked to those that actually do this, and they share this with information. They share information with people. They normally don't tell people about gold and silver because, and this is my thought, this is my personal opinion, it's not in their portfolio. And what I mean by that is it's not something they make a commission on. It's kind of like if you went to a car dealer right here in your local town, wherever it is, and you walk up to them and they say, "How can I help you?" And you say, "I want the very best deal on whatever type of car you want." He is not going to tell you about the car across town. He's not going to tell you about the car in the next state. He's only going to tell you about the cars that are on his lot, because that's what he can make a commission on. And so your financial advisor or planner, they're going to tell you the things that make sense to help them as well. And so that being said, everything involves risk. Hopefully we're going to share some information with you that helps to educate all of us on why it's important to own precious metals. Now, we feel it's important to put precious metals into everyone's hands, anybody who needs it. And really, who needs it? I think anybody that's trying to battle inflation. Think about that. Does anybody know what the inflation rate is over the last 5 years? If you know the number, drop it in the chat. Let me know if you know the inflation rate over the last 5 years. And you're going to probably be surprised. I see some 50% in there. A lot of times people say, oh, it's probably 8, 9, 10, 15. Folks, it is 24% over the last 5 years. And so my question is, did you get a 24% pay raise over the last 5 years? I've always felt like I had a good job. I worked for the government up until 2 years ago. I'm now flying EMS helicopters. The thing is, I've always felt like I had a good job, but I will tell you that I do not get a pay raise of 24% over the last 5 years. And so if we're not able to keep up with inflation, this is why people struggle. And so who needs gold and silver? Who needs to protect their wealth? Who needs to grow their wealth? And I would say that's all of us. And so here's a graph that kind of depicts what we just talked about. The purchasing power of the dollar has gone down over 97%. But your gold and your silver has done the complete opposite of that. We use the term sound money. It's a fancy term for gold and silver. The wealthy have used this for ages. If you think about this, gold and silver has been a means of trade for over 5,000 years. Why? Because it has value. It's been able to buy whatever the currency is. Whatever the currency is, gold and silver has always been able to purchase. Now, we don't know what the currency is going to be in the future. Will it be the dollar? Will it be something else? Will it be a digital currency? Whatever it is, gold and silver is going to be able to purchase it and still have that same buying power. Financial institutions, governments, they've been buying up gold and silver. And the thing is, this is something that we do as well, being a part of 7K. Now, I'm going to share with you. So we talked about the example from, the early 1900s. Now, let's shorten that time frame a little bit. We're going to talk about 60 years. So in 1965, for 2,500 paper dollars or 2,500 ounces of silver, you could have purchased a new Mustang. Well, today, there's no way you're buying a Mustang for $2,500. It's not possible. But your silver has way more value. And this slide is over a year old, and it says you can purchase 2 Mustangs. Here's the thing. You probably purchase about 3 maybe right now, maybe even 4, if you think and look at the price of silver and what it's done over the last few months. And so, again, this is how we protect our wealth. This is how we grow our wealth. And the same things happen with gold. You take that same amount of gold, $2,500 back in 1965, you can now buy over 5 Mustangs. And it's probably closer to 7 or 8. And again, this slide's about a year old. I know that 60 years, it seems like a long time, but let's break that down in even the last 5 years. Imagine if you had taken $1,000 and just put it under your mattress. I think that's what my grandma used to do. You put it under your mattress. That's your savings account. Some people put it in the bank. Well, due to the 24% inflation, your purchasing power is now $760. So if it goes down in value, again, why are we still holding this? Why are we still keeping fiat currency? And so if you had gold or silver, if you kept it in a gold and silver account, which is something that we actually offer here at 7K, a way to buy fractional gold and silver, whether it's $1,000 or $500 or $50 or $10 or $1. Your gold or your silver now has a purchasing power of over $2,000. And again, this slide is over a year old. We've got some new stuff coming. So, folks, if sound money's so sound, why doesn't everyone have it? It's really because we're not taught this. We're not taught in school about gold and silver, about protecting our wealth and growing our wealth. We're not taught in college. We're not taught in the military. I've been a part of the military for 40 years. They don't teach that stuff in the military. And so where do we get the education from? It's from people like myself, Sally Mary, Tony Hubbard, Joseph Latin. We get together and we share this information with people. We share it because we want to make a difference. Now, most people don't know where to buy gold and silver. They don't know who to trust. They don't know if they're getting a good deal. They don't even know if it's real. And that's really until now.
We're now completely revolutionizing the industry and making it so anyone and everyone can seamlessly start buying precious metals. It doesn't matter if you want to start with $100 or even $1. The new technology provided by our partner company, Sound Money Wallet, will allow you to convert your cash to various asset classes of fractional gold or silver quickly with no games or gimmicks. With Sound Money, you own the metals you buy, but they store them safe and sound. And you'll sleep easy at night knowing that if you ever want your metals, they'll be in the mail at the drop of a hat. Sound Money uses a non-segregated vault at their partner company, VaultMax, to store your precious metal assets, protected by some of the most technologically advanced security out there. You can be sure your metals are safe there. If you want your metal, simply request it. Pay the shipping and insurance and it will be on the way. But what if you need cash? This is the only tool on the market with the power to give you frictionless liquidation with one of the best buyback prices in the industry. Sound Money will make your ownership journey convenient and easy. Be confident that control is back in your hands from start to finish. Let Sound Money Wallet work for you.
So that's been the struggle with gold and silver in the past is being able to liquidate. And so you heard in that video that you can liquidate 24/7. You can have the metal shipped to you, you can have cash, you can have money deposited directly into your account, you can even have a check mailed to you. And so the beauty of the Sound Money wallet is you can buy whatever increment that you want. So let's say that you want to get this gold buffalo, all right? But its value is over $5,000 right now. And so the thing is, you don't have to have $5,000 to buy gold. You can buy $50 worth and put it in your Sound Money wallet. And so in the past, people have said, well, okay, in order to sell my gold or silver, I got to find somebody that's willing to buy it. I'm going to take it to the pawn shop or whatever it is. But the thing is, those guys are not going to give you the best buyback in the industry. They're going to give you what makes them the most money. And so they're going to give you about half, maybe 75% of the value of it. And so this is why it's been a struggle in the past. So the Sound Money wallet is incredible. And I'm going to share an example with you. I don't do this to brag, but I just want to share with you how important the Sound Money wallet is. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, I decided I felt like my TSP, which is the Thrift Savings Program, that is the military's version of a 401k. I felt like, okay, they're making maybe 10 to 15% each year, but I think I can do better with that money. And so I pulled my 401k, my TSP out, and I took the hit on taxes and I paid that. And here's the thing though, I decided, okay, I'm going to invest in a couple things, but I want to buy gold and silver. I want to buy more. And I've been purchasing over the last 10 years, but I said, I'm going to buy more because I feel like every time I purchase, I just see gold and silver continuing to go up in value. And it may dip here and there, which it has just recently dipped a little bit, but this is the trajectory. It just continues to go up. It might go up and dip, and go up and dip, but the trajectory is always up. And so here's the thing. I took $30,000 of my thrift savings program and I put it in my Sound Money wallet. I did some other things as well, but I put the $30,000 in my Sound Money wallet. I want you to take a look at my Sound Money wallet right now. This is this morning. I took this picture this morning. It's $72,500. That's my $30,000 from last year is now worth $72,000. So did I get a better return than 10, 12, maybe 15%? You bet I did. And so the thing is, if you park your money that you have, your available money in the Sound Money wallet, you have much better odds of increasing the purchase value or protecting your money or growing your wealth. And this is what we do. And so the Sound Money wallet is part of the new collectibles. You'll have first dibs on these beautiful collectibles. Now, when you look at this slide, look at the artwork, look at the designs, look at the beauty of the coins. Now, probably some of you can think about collectibles out there like baseball cards or comic books, different types of magazines, figurines. These things are all made out of plastic, cardboard, paper, things of that nature. Imagine if you had your collectibles on gold and silver. Imagine what happens with that. And so you take something that's stunning, have great artwork, something that's rare. So we're talking gold and silver is rare. And then you put those things together and they have a story incorporated it. You put those things together and you have a winning hand. So take this, here's an example right here. I actually have one on my desk, the Montana Butterfly. I originally sold for $150. It now sells for over $1,000. The Julius Caesar coin, this was part of a 12 coin series that 7K offered. Here's one in my hand. Originally $360, now sells for over $500. The Tiffany art coin, this sold for $100, now sells for over $2,000. Folks, this is what we mean by defense and offense. And a lot of times people say, okay, I got this really cool collectible that you just talked about, this Julius Caesar coin. How do I sell it if I want to? Because there's not really been a market for collectibles to be able to be sold, not like bullion. Bullion, you can usually get somebody to buy. But you used to have to find an auction or people that's just, the collectors are just willing to buy. We have the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 21st, and the 26th that you can do an auto subscription to your Sound Money wallet. Or you can just go in there and make a purchase at any time to put in your Sound Money wallet. But again, most people, they lack the discipline to do something on a monthly basis, on a regular basis. So just set it up. And this is something that I do. Imagine if you had just taken $100 a month and put it in your Sound Money wallet. Over the course of a year, that would be $1,200. Your gold in when you look at this in 3 years, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is, your value, that purchasing power, like we had talked about at the beginning, it continues to go up. And this is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of the Sound Money wallet. Again,
discipline. There's a reason successful people are always talking about it. Without it, you might as well be treading water. You can't go anywhere or get anything in life without the discipline to make it happen. At 7K, we know it's too important to live without, even if you're still developing it. So we automated it. You use automated discipline almost every day for the physical things that matter most in your life. Your mortgage, cell phone, car, credit cards. Do you make those payments manually every month? No. You set them on autopay because it's too important to risk messing up. Gold and silver assets are like your money's best friends. They have its back, but they don't just appear when you need them. And like the other most important things in your life, collecting them is too important to risk messing up. Stack assets on autopay with 7K's Autosaver. Don't wait to secure your money's future and spend the time you save developing the discipline to go after other big goals. At 7K, we help you put assets on autopilot.
that picture on the cruise, that was from 2 years ago, but we just got off a cruise like a week or so ago. I got to tell you, having access to not only gold and silver, but the 7K getaways is a ton of fun here. So again, I get one of all 4 of these autosavers every single month. I show this picture for 2 reasons. One, I want you to know that before 7K, which I joined about 10 years ago, before 7K, I did not have any gold and silver. And so I started purchasing a little bit each month. But I also, my friend that told me about it, he says, I know I can help you make some money. So I decided to share it with people. So that little, 3 minutes of referral that we just talked about, I started doing that. And I said, I found that I'm actually making money. I'm actually sharing this and earning commission. And so what I decided to do is take 2/3 of everything I earn and buy more precious metals. So I was still doing my incremental every month. But when I earned a commission, I took 2/3 of it and I bought more. And so again, I want you to realize that before 10 years ago, I didn't have any precious metals. And then 2, the other reason I shared this photo with you is because on the right side is gold and silver bullion. On the left side is the gold and silver collectibles. We talked about both of those in this overview. I buy from both categories every single month. I do it because they both have value. The bullion, I call it the defense. The collectibles, I call it the offense. So folks, our company believes in us. I know they do, and I believe in the company. I spent time with the co-founders, the corporate team. We do a lot of things together, like one of the getaways that we just did. And here's the thing, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've never had anyone come back to me and say, Chris, I wish I didn't do that. Not one person has ever said, I wish I didn't buy gold and silver. No one. No one's ever said that to me. Now, I've had people stop buying their autosaver and so here's the thing. It can be a win-win situation for anyone that does this. You can purchase precious metals and you're winning because you're protecting and growing your assets. And again, it's just my experience. All right. So 10 years ago when I got started, my friend said, okay, I still have a job flying helicopters because I love to do it. I worked for the government. I worked for the government for 40 years. All right. I'm that person that says, okay, I got to go to work because that's what my parents taught me. Go to work, get a job, do that kind of thing. Here's the thing. That's the way I earned my income. And that's the way a lot of people do it as well. We talked about inflation. Inflation just continues to go up. So how do we keep up? Well, back then, 10 years ago, at that time, my wife and I had started a lawn care business, and we actually ran that for 7 years to make an additional stream of income. And we did okay with that. We made money with that extra business. But here's the thing, I was tied to that business. If I wasn't cutting grass or teaching someone to do a yard professionally, I wasn't making money with that business. And so I was tied to that. Now here, So that's what we were trying to achieve with the lawn care business. Time is the most valuable thing on the planet. We talk about gold and silver. Yeah, it has value, but your time is what's most important. And so for that was a blessing for us. That was a blessing to be able to free up the time to combat inflation. And so, we've been at it ever since then. Now, one more thing I'm going to share with you. So I did 25 years active duty military, and then I worked another 15 years as a Department of the Army civilian. So from that 25 years, I retired, but you can't live on a retirement, but I have an annual pension. So I make a certain amount of money every year, and I get it monthly, but a certain amount of money every year. Folks, this is the real deal. Gold and silver is the real deal. It's an asset that has continuously gone up in value. It might dip here and there, but it continuously goes up in value, where fiat currency continues to go down in value. Just trade your fiat currency for an asset, for something that continues to go up in value. Folks, this concludes our overview of 7K. We appreciate your time. Here at Legacy Builders, we help other people do the same thing that we're doing. And so we appreciate your time. We encourage you to get with the person that invited you to this overview. And if you're watching the recording, do the same thing. And start today buying precious metals. And if you want to share it with someone, do that too. It's your choice. So we do this Monday through Wednesday.
Hello, this is Teresa. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to have more information, put info or more info in the comments section. Hope you have a lovely day, evening, or night. We love you. Bye.